Sister wives Cristin Brown reveals if she's ignoring tough problems in her life after refusing to feel guilty for putting herself first. As Sister Wives fans know, Cristin Brown spent the majority of her life serving others, and now that she's shifted her mindset and her life, she wants people to know if she's actually ignoring the tough problems in her life. Cristin was Kody Brown's third wife, whom he married after already being wed to Mary Brown and Janelle Brown. After having 3 wives for many years, Kody married fourth wife Robin Brown, and for a while, everything seemed fine for the Sister Wives season 19 stars until 2021, when Cristin made the stunning decision to leave Kody. Janelle and Mary soon followed her. Cristin recently shared an Instagram reel where she reflected on the journey her life has taken. In the video, set to Jimmy Eat World's anthem, The Middle, Cristin wrote that in her life, she strives to stay positive. But that doesn't mean she's ignoring the hard stuff. It means she's focusing on the good. In her caption, Cristin added, "Staying positive doesn't mean ignoring the tough stuff. It means choosing to fight for the good. What's one way you stay positive when life gets hard?" The last 5 years haven't been easy for Cristin. The Brown family crumbled after moving from Las Vegas to Arizona, and the COVID-19 pandemic made matters worse for them. Kody couldn't keep all of his wives happy, and it created some major tension within the fractured family. Cristin, Janelle, and Mary all felt that Kody favored Robin and their kids, and they were sick of it. Brave Cristin took the bold move first, choosing to leave Kody and the family. Mary and Janelle, no doubt inspired by Cristin's journey, soon followed. Cristin took a leap of faith, finally putting herself above Kody and his wants, and it paid off for her. She soon met David Woolley, and the two have been married for a year and a half now. Cristin is very active on her social media, constantly posting uplifting messages and inspiring thoughts about putting yourself first and how that can lead to the greatest happiness. She has a large army of fans, and many of them probably feel stuck in some way in their own lives. Maybe it's a marriage that needs to end or a job that isn't working anymore. Whatever the case, it's a relatable sentiment. At 49 years old, Cristin left the only home and relationship she'd ever known and set off to find her happiness. There are so many people in her position whom she can help inspire to make better choices for themselves. It's not always easy. In fact, it's usually hard. But believing in yourself and making bold moves can absolutely turn out for the best. In Cristin's case, it certainly did. The Utah sun was warm against Cristin Brown's shoulders as she sat on the back patio of her new home, a steaming cup of herbal tea cradled in her hands. Birds chirped in the distance, and David Woolley could be heard hammering something in the garage, probably another DIY project meant to make the space feel more like them. Cristin closed her eyes for a moment, savoring the simple peace. But peace doesn't mean perfection. In a recent interview for a podcast titled Healing in Layers, Cristin surprised listeners when she was asked point-blank, "Are you ignoring the tough problems in your life now that you've left polygamy behind?" There was a pause. Then came Cristin's measured, emotionally layered response. "Am I ignoring the tough stuff? No, but I'm also not going to wear it like a badge of honor anymore. For so long, I lived with the belief that martyrdom equaled virtue. That putting myself last was noble. That pain was the price of loyalty. But I'm not doing that anymore." And she meant it. For years, fans of Sister Wives watched Cristin smile through disappointment, mother through exhaustion, and nod through Kody Brown's ever-shifting emotional loyalties. Her joy was so often rooted in her children, her bright girls, her bold boy, her big blended family, that she forgot what it meant to ask herself, "What do I want?" Now she was finally asking, and answering. "People think that once you leave a toxic situation, your problems disappear," she continued in the interview. "But no one tells you how loud the silence can be when the chaos is gone. You sit with memories. You sit with your own part in everything. And you have to forgive yourself, sometimes daily, for not leaving sooner." Cristin didn't want to be a symbol. She didn't want to be the one who got out, or the strong one, or the example for women everywhere. But those labels stuck like stickers on a thrift store mug, clumsy, well-intentioned, and a little bit off-center. "I'm working through things every day," she admitted, "but I'm also letting joy be louder. I'm giving myself permission to laugh too loud, to dance offbeat, to love fully, even if that scares some people." When asked if she felt guilty for putting herself first, Cristin laughed in that light, slightly mischievous way fans had come to adore. "Guilty? No, not anymore. I used to. Of course I did. That guilt sat on my chest like a toddler who wouldn't move, crying, demanding, needing attention. But I learned something from watching my own daughters. They never questioned whether they deserved happiness. Why should I? There was strength in her tone, but not the kind forged through bitterness. It was a quiet strength, worn in like leather, softened by use, made richer by time. Behind the scenes, Cristin was still navigating emotional mazes. The grief of Garrison's passing loomed in the corners of family gatherings, sometimes causing awkward silences or teary glances that no one knew quite how to address. Cristin had confided in close friends that she often lay awake at night, wondering if she could have helped more, not just with Garrison, but with all of her children during the darker times. But she was learning not to punish herself for the past. Instead, she showed up differently now. Present, gentle, real. Even her relationship with David Woolley, as sweet and heartwarming as it appeared on social media, wasn't without complexity. David loves me fully, and that's beautiful, she shared. But that also means I have to show up as me, not as someone who's afraid to take up space or speak her mind. And that's a daily practice. She paused and smiled. Luckily, he's patient, and he knows I come with layers. Cristin no longer sees tough problems as monsters to be ignored or conquered. Instead, she views them as conversations. Some she's ready to have. Others, she's still working up the courage to begin. When I left Flagstaff, I thought freedom would feel like fireworks. But it was more like a slow exhale. Like finally putting down a backpack you didn't realize was heavy until it was gone. She's not rushing healing. She's letting it come in waves, some days bringing calm, others bringing an undertow of what-ifs. And that's okay. Cristin Brown is not ignoring the hard things. She's simply choosing to let the good things have equal airtime. I'm not a cautionary tale, she said near the end of the interview. And I'm not some happily ever after fairy tale either. I'm a woman in her 50s who finally realized she doesn't have to set herself on fire to keep everyone else warm. And if that's selfish, I'm okay with that. Later that afternoon, Cristin stood barefoot in her kitchen, dancing to Fleetwood Mac as she chopped vegetables for dinner. David peeked in, grinning. "You're in a good mood," he teased. She winked. "I put myself first today." "Good," he said. "You should do that every day." And she just might. Because Cristin Brown isn't running from her problems anymore. She's just choosing not to let them be the loudest voice in the room.